Hello, folks, and welcome to our first live arranging session. Although I don't think, Fred, this session is going to have any arranging in it, is it?
Well, it'll have like proto arranging.
Proto proto arranging. It's a new thing. You heard it here, folks. Proto arranging is now just Fred's invented it. So proto arranging. What would you say the definition of proto arranging is, Fred?
It's like the pre-arranging before one arranges. Like how one would pre-drink before one drinks, one can proto-arrange before one arranges. It's
Only
the
stu only students pre-drink. It's
I don't
like
drink at all.
bless your heart. So this is obviously the first of three arranging sessions. The first two are going to be pre-recorded because obviously me and Fred actually have to arrange a song. We put out 10 options and we're just going to chat through with you. So even if you didn't vote for which option you wanted us to arrange, we're just going to kind of chat through our thoughts and maybe even why we like some of the songs and which ones we want to have won before we actually find out what has won and which song me and Fred over the next couple of days need to arrange into hopefully a completed arrangement. These things normally take more than 2 days, but we're going to see what we can do with the time that we're afforded. So should we go through what the song choices are, Fred?
Let's do it. Let's
So
see if I can remember.
so I go through my choices first. So,
Yes.
and again, some of you maybe have been trying to guess which were my song choices because I chose five possibles and Fred chose five possibles. So some of you might have been wondering who chose which. So we'll announce that one now. So the first choice from me was "Beautiful" by Christina Aguilera. Mainly because, interesting enough, I thought it'd be quite hard to do it. If you know what I mean, kind of like I kind of thought, although other Christina Aguilera songs would be significantly more difficult, she's known for her twiddles even more so than I am.
I do
But
have a band arrangement of Genie in a Bottle. But,
oh,
but that's not vocal. That's a vocalist and then 17-piece funk band.
that would probably be a little bit much for a 17 part vocals. I'm not quite sure even I could manage that in a 2 day spread. Um, so again, pretty song, nice song. And just thought it'd be something a little bit different. I've not arranged myself things like that before. I thought it'd be interesting to find the two different ways of arranging that. My second choice was a Nora Jones song, a little bit jazzy. Don't know why. Which then like a nice bass. I kind of thought that you kind of said it's got a nice like double bass kind of bass line, and I kind of thought there was kind of some slidey bits. There were some interesting chords and things that you could kind of get stuck into there. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah,
that
my
wasn't a song that I'd heard of before.
was it
Um,
not?
no, I liked it very much.
It's pretty, isn't it? It's kind of
Yeah.
pretty and it's chilled out, and quite a lot of songs I often arrange are quite energetic. Whereas that one's kind of it's chill. It's not sad, but it's chill and it's kind of downbeat and it just kind of pootles along in a very
Yeah, it's
nice
nice.
jazzy kind of way. My third song was Aretha Franklin, "Say a Little Prayer." Which is just a classic song, really, isn't it? And again, interesting rhythmic stuff, and already with those kind of that iconic kind of backing vocal stuff that you get in the chorus, like forever, forever. So in my head, I was thinking, oh, that'll be an interesting
Yeah,
one to try and get vocals, backing vocals, and all the instruments only into maybe four parts. I kind of thought
it's
that's going
the
to be
it's
challenging.
yeah, it's the challenge between trying to be faithful to what people love about the original, which is obviously that structure and that backing vocals, but also trying to have your own take on it and making it work is kind of the fun challenge.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So that one was, I think, again, quite classic. My fourth choice was the Monkees. I'm a Believer, mainly because I try and think of songs that are kind of old, but also sometimes have a little bit. And this one was in Shrek, so it was in the original Shrek, wasn't it?
I first heard the song in Shrek,
Yeah, not the
which tells
Monkees
you
version. It was
about
Smash
my
Mouth,
age.
wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, it was Smash
yeah, it was
Mouth. Yeah,
Smash
yeah.
Mouth who did All Star. Now that would be
And
an
it's
interesting song.
Donkey coming and going, sorry, I'm late, and then that was the peak of
And then
comedy
that
for
was the
7-year-old Fred.
yeah. So that one again, it's just kind of quite fun, quite a fun thing. And again, that one was actually because it would lend itself very quickly, I think, to kind of an a cappella kind of barbershop-y a cappella arrangement. So yeah, and my final choice was Waving Through a Window, because I like that, basically just because I like that song. Again, quite a lot of stuff going on with it, rhythmic stuff, and there's especially kind of the beginning with like the timing, like dun, 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 dun. So there's interesting things, even like a slightly offset into the second verse. You've got a slightly offset where the beat falls. So rhythmically, there's a couple of some interesting things that you'd have to kind of contend with, I suppose, in that song.
I guess, I mean, everyone loved You'll Be Found, and it's obviously from the same show as You'll Be Found.
Yeah, exactly. So again, different type of song, quite upbeat. I thought about putting Sincerely Me, but I wasn't sure I'd get away with it in the context of the lyrics. Probably sometimes is a little bit.
I'll say Waving Through the Window is one of the ones where if it does win, that'll be a fun challenge for me to sing. I'll have a nice warm up.
Yeah, I did. I was listening and I did record it and sing it the other day. I was like, I'll see if I can. It is quite high. It's quite high and quite
high for you.
It is quite high for me. Yeah. So, but pitch correction is a wonderful thing, Fred.
What do you mean?
What is it? Waving through a window. That'd be perfect.
I back myself. It's fine.
I think we all do, mate.
I can shout.
So there were my 5 choices. Don't know how they've done yet, but they're my 5 choices. Do you want to talk us through yours, Fred?
Sure. I'm gonna see if I can remember them off the top of my head. So my first one I suggested was With or Without You, U2. Because I think it's a cool song. It's very nice. I was trying to think of something that I know Simon likes, is kind of 90s, noughties music.
It's my youth, Fred. It's my youth.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Because I'm old.
And yeah, I just like it. It's got a lot going on as well. Especially, I always think the opening to that song sounds a bit like it's like very pleasant elevator music, like the first 4 bars of that song. I always think it's like a ringtone, and then it goes into this really quite cool song that builds gradually, and obviously they don't go up the octave in the first chorus, and you're like waiting for it, and I just think it's a cool song.
Yeah, it is a cool song. It does it. It layers and it builds and it builds and it builds, and then it chills itself out in the end. And yeah, I know at the beginning, at the beginning, that'll be an interesting one.
Yeah,
to try and vocally do.
Well, that's the kind of thing where I guess, obviously, we can make a comment to it later, but the way that I arrange is easier for that because I can just do something completely different if I wanted to, and have my own 4-bar intro or whatever. There's nothing like the original. But yeah, well, I just like the song.
Nice. Again, and sometimes I think you have to kind of think. 1 second. I've just had a roast pork sandwich. I had pork in my teeth, so apologies.
Is that staying?
It would have annoyed me literally for the next 35 minutes. I was like, no, I'd just be kind of doing strange things with my mouth. So, but I think sometimes you just have to arrange. You want to arrange songs that you like. Do you know what I mean? Even if sometimes they don't suit, or they're not particular, or it's like songs that aren't necessary. Because on my list, I didn't put it on this because it would have been too much. But is "Bat Out of Hell" by Meatloaf.
Yeah,
which I don't know if it would lend itself to a 4-part a cappella treatment. I mean, it could do. Whether I could do that, I don't know. Who knows? But sometimes you just want to kind of do stuff, even if it ends up kind of never making it out of the kind of the folder of songs that I tried that didn't work. And there's quite a few of them. I think you've heard a few of the songs I tried that did not work and will never see the light of day. But
I've got a folder of those as well.
And actually, you start and you go, nah, it's not working. It's not working.
And it's like you could, if you really cared, or if someone was paying you to do it, you could probably sit down and like actually get through it. But it's like often you just want that kind of like, it's interesting. You get a little spark that makes you go, or sometimes you just hit a roadblock. Yeah. But like when you like the song, it makes it a lot easier, obviously.
Yeah. No, definitely, 100%. So what was your next choice? So you did With or Without You.
So similar vintage, I guess, was Robbie Williams, Angels.
I just have to say, I love the fact that you're saying Robbie Williams Angel, which must be like 97, is the same vintage as With or Without You, which I think is like 1986. It's only 10 years. It's only a decade apart.
Listen, I'll be honest. It's like before I was born, but not before 1950. It's like it's post-war, but pre-Fred.
Oh, just like so 70s, 80s, 90s are all kind of like even 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s are all kind of just like
It's a homogeneous group of
After
things.
50s, before Fred was born, is
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
genre of music. I like that. I like that.
yeah, exactly. It's things that I've only heard through Spotify and YouTube. Um, but yeah, but again, Angels are just a cool song. It has a lot of stuff going on there with like the texture and stuff. I like it a lot. Um, yeah, I like a bit of Robbie.
It
Um,
is, yeah, actually, they were exactly 10 years apart.
no, there
87
you
was
go.
with Without You, and Angels was 97. So, yeah, 10 years apart. But both great songs. And I think
Yeah,
Angels is that kind of iconic. I think if this one wins, I think at some point I'm just going to literally not sing that high note in the chorus because that's what Robbie always does when he sings it live. He'll go, and through it,
yeah.
a lot of love and affection. And then so, and down the
Yeah.
water. Just because he
Oh.
doesn't. Well, yeah, exactly. Oh, and then the crowd sings along. It's just
Yeah.
cheating. Yeah. So I kind of thought it would be music if I did the Robbie Williams live version where the melody just drops out and all the high stuff.
Yeah, it's like what's that? Another one which is where there's a slightly different live version. If you ever heard and this is my third suggestion, which is Viva La Vida Coldplay.
Mm.
If you ever hear Chris Martin singing it live, he often doesn't go up to the high notes as much. He stays down a little bit.
The joys of studio recording.
But yeah, So that was my third suggestion, Coldplay. That's obviously a slightly more modern, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess that's the no. Waving Through a Window is obviously the most modern of the 10. But
that's
um,
pretty modern. Kind of 2000. What? Viva La Vida's what that? 2010?
yeah,
2000? Slightly before. No, slightly. Let me find out.
I was vaguely sentient then.
Maybe it was 2007. 2000 and 1 second, just checking. 2008.
Nice, nice.
2008. So, but yeah, again, classic song. Although because I listened to this and I thought, bloody hell, the bass part literally just does the same thing.
Yeah,
Never really checked. Dum 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 da dum dum da dum 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 da dum dum. Repeat for 4.5 minutes. So
yeah.
again, I
Well,
think
because
this is probably wouldn't be a collective song because I think the basses would hunt me down
yeah,
and they'd
well, I
be
guess
like,
it's that balance. Obviously, the iconic thing of the song is that is it 4-5-1-6 minor chord progression. I think that's right. Yeah. But then obviously you have to think about like the balance between making it a good a cappella arrangement, but also true to the original and the things that people like. And that
yeah,
bass part is obviously, obviously you can do clever things with that if you wanted to. And if you
yeah.
give them words rather than dum dums, it adds some interest, or you can, invert some chords, which I know is a Simon favorite. Um,
Not on
uh,
purpose. I don't do it on purpose.
it just happens.
It's like I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to use a second inversion chord. I mean, I say frankly, third inversion chord's my favorite. Stick a seven
Oh,
on the bottom
nice.
of a chord, and everything goes well with the world.
I was going through a barbershop arrangement the other day, a contestable arrangement of it was a Newfangled 4 chart, and they had a nice third inversion major 7 chord, which I enjoyed.
Exactly. Why on earth not?
Yeah.
This, stretch the harmonic language. That's what we want to do.
But yeah, but in terms of stretching harmonic language, Viva La Vida for sure hasn't got much, but it's just such an iconic song.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love and it's such a cool, like, I always think the song is about, like, really cool, like, I guess the story of the song is very cool, but it doesn't always come across until you actually, like, really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It's about, like, like someone whose kingdom is crumbling down. It's like, who would want to be king? And I think it's cool. And, I
Yeah.
think you could there's a lot of things you can bring out in there. That,
But I like because you're of an age where you're probably just slightly too young to have gone through the I hate Coldplay are naff thing, which
yeah,
people my age like Coldplay. Unlike the first album, I think it was Yellow. No, Parachutes. That's what it's called. The first album was called Parachutes. And then by the time we got to Viva La Vida, Death of All His Friends or whatever it is called, yeah, they was like they were like still worldwide popular, but it was like cool now to hate
yeah.
Coldplay. Do you know what I mean? It's like they make good music. They make good pop songs. They make good band related pop songs that are really catchy and you can't get the damn things out of your head. And they still do. And I just, yeah, so it's nice that you've not been muddied
No.
by the Coldplay are rubbish because they were popular, that kind of weird proto hipster stuff of things can only be good if they're not popular. And as soon as something gets popular, we have to hate it. It's like, I've
Yeah,
never
no,
got that.
I've always liked Coldplay. I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
it's good
I
music.
remember Paradise was one of the very first songs that I ever had, like, listened to on, like, I got when I was, like, young. I can't remember exactly how young. I got on, like, an iPod like the old iPod for Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting. And one of the few songs I had on that first one was it was like a Now that's what they call music album. But
Yeah.
one of the songs in it was Paradise. And I just listened to it all the time because I liked it a lot. I almost suggested Paradise.
Good song. Good song. I've done arrangement of that for Simple Tones way back when. 5-part when we had 5 people in the group. But
there you go.
yeah, it does work well. Quite rangy, but it's good.
There were lots of I almost suggested Yellow as well.
Again, classic.
There's so many
just a 10 Coldplay songs.
Coldplay medley, yeah. But in the end, I went for Viva La Vida. As my suggestion because I thought it was cool.
What was your fourth suggestion, sir?
My fourth one was Life on Mars, David Bowie.
Now there is a classic.
Because Life on Mars is just what a crazy song. I love it so much. What do the words mean? No one really knows, but yeah, it's so good. And I remember Simon before saying that he was thinking about arranging it, but I checked with you. I said, have you done this yet, or have you thought about it? And he was like, I haven't started yet. I was like, oh.
No, again, I've sung the melody. I did the melody with a backing track a while ago just to have enjoyment singing the song because it's a great song. But no, never. I didn't get round to it. But yeah, it's just a great song. And again, it's one of those ones that it would be challenging to find all those the bits to try and fit all those bits in. There's quite a lot of stuff going on and interesting chords and interesting kind of harmonies and stuff because again, Bowie never really goes. It's less standardized. It's less kind of, it's not just like the same 4 chord. It's definitely not Viva La Vida. It'd be a different kind of challenge.
Yeah. Because I've sung like an SATB chord arrangement of it. But the reason I suggested it was that left me with a bit wanting to be desired. It was take a look at the law, man beating up the wrong. Oh no! It was very like posh people singing pop music.
Like I see a little silhouette in bloody Bohemian Rhapsody.
Only that's like only that's like somehow done for effect. Whereas this was, I mean, it was fun. It was fun enough. But
didn't quite.
I remember listening to it when it was like the second song I ever sang in a choir when I was like 15, and I was like, something could be better here. And now's my chance to right that wrong.
Now's your chance to right the wrong. Yeah, great song though. I think even if it doesn't win, I think it'll be one that probably at some point I'll attempt. I'll attempt it. Whether or not whether it's one of the ones that ends up in the folder of doom and never gets to see the light of day, or whether it actually happens. So, what's that?
Another one that goes quite high.
It does go quite high, yeah. But we don't mind that, do we? You don't mind singing really excessively high, Fred?
Perfect.
No?
That's my happy place. Yeah.
You're happy.
And the fifth one, speaking of ones that go high, another one that goes quite high, but I love it, is River of Dreams, Billy Joel.
Yeah.
It's just such a funky song.
In the middle of it's a tune.
I
watched the video actually. The video is weird, but yeah.
Yeah, the video is weird. But it's like it's just such a cool song. It's like begging out to be a-cappella-ized, but like there's still enough to do with it. And I just love the melody is just so fun as well.
A lot of his stuff are always quite a cappella-y. He always seems to they always seem to lend themselves. It's like the go-to.
He loves to multi-track himself. Like, you listen to like
I know the feeling.
Indeed. But yeah, if you listen to for Longest Time, for example, that's like loads of Billy Joel's in there.
Yeah.
That's kind of a really iconic one, obviously. You got like Piano Man. It's got a lot of that kind of fun stuff going on. They're basically all Billy Joel songs. Lend themselves well to that. I really like
and So It Goes is quite a popular one that Kirby Shaw arranged, and there's a different version that I think King Singers do as well. And there's a I think Chilcott arranged one and Kirby Shaw arranged one. Different people do different versions of that. So
I've sung 3 chord arrangements of And So It Goes.
Yeah. Just but all similar, but they have certain differences. You're like, oh, I know this. Oh no, I don't. It does something different here.
I think it speaks how good he is as a songwriter. But River of Dreams, I just think it's such a fun song, and I thought it's got a nice lot of twiddles in the melody for Simon.
Yeah.
But it's just a really fun song.
Red.
I think. I just thought I thought you'd kill it. Is what I'm saying. It's a compliment.
Oh, bless your heart, sir. I should have chosen like Old Man River, and you could kill the bass of that solo.
Back when I was 16 and didn't develop a social conscience, that was my go-to grade 8 singing song, and I did it, and I was like, maybe we shouldn't have sung that. There were other options.
there are other options, but you enjoyed yourself, though, Fred. That's what life is all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, in my life, it's all been about enjoying myself. Maybe that's where I've gone wrong.
Fair enough. Yeah, she actually like 16 tons. The like,
There is a barbershop
Something.
version of that, though. I think
Yeah,
there is, or
Jim
what at
Jim
least,
Henry.
yeah. Now I just I've opened the document, Fred.
I'm quite nervous.
I've opened the document and I'm just looking down here and it's surprising. So all of you watching this, you're going to find out what we're going to arrange.
Can we
And
have
I'll
like a...
go, yeah, we'll go 10th, 9th, 8th. We'll
Yeah,
go all the way.
Perfect.
So in joint last place, there's 3 songs that are in last place, which is a shame because people obviously don't agree with us on what would be good to arrange. So Beautiful by Christina Aguilera, 3% of the vote. Also, 3% of the vote, David Bowie, Life on Mars. I know, that shocks me. 3%, Waving Through a Window.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm
3%.
I'm
Yeah.
not so surprised about Beautiful or Life on Mars,
Yeah.
but I'm surprised about Waving Through a Window.
There you go. With 5% of the vote, With or Without You.
Fair enough.
10% of the vote, Don't Know Why.
Yeah, okay.
Which is interesting that got like more than 3 times the amount of votes as Waving Through a Window, but there we go. And oh, okay, 11% of the vote, Monkeys, I'm a Believer.
Oh, okay. I thought that would be higher.
Yeah. This obviously the people who voted, they surprise us. With 12% of the vote, Robbie Williams, Angels.
Yeah, I thought that was, yeah.
Now that leaves us, Fred, with Viva La Vida.
Yeah.
I Say a Little Prayer, and The River of Dreams.
Nice. Okay.
That's our top 3.
Nice. Okay.
And let's go through third place. Third place, Fred, is Viva La Vida with 15% of the vote.
Okay.
With 17% of the vote, the winning one got 22% of the vote. The second was 17% of the vote. The second place was River of Dreams, which means,
exciting.
Fred, we have to arrange Aretha Franklin, I Say a Little Prayer.
Nice. That's not what I was expecting.
I was not expecting that either.
I thought Monkeys, Dear Evan Hansen, Coldplay, Billy Joel would be the top 4.
Yeah, but I would not have put any money on that. And we had 120 votes.
Nice.
So decent amount of votes. So shall we now have a listen to this, Fred? Let's have a listen. And then what we can do is we can have a little bit of a think and maybe have a think about what our thoughts are about this arrangement. So obviously those of you at home, 1 second, just while I load Spotify up.
I'm just following along with the sheet music.
You already got the sheet music for all of these.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cheating.
Well, I haven't looked at them yet. I just got them already.
Oh, can you share your sound and play it, please? Because my computer's being funny and being grumpety. It's been a little bit.
The version that we've got on our Spotify playlist.
Yes, that'd be perfect, mate.
Cool. Here it comes. Say a Little Prayer, Aretha Franklin.
Let's have a listen. It's classic. We have to do it in original key. That's a banger.
This is my prayer. Answer my prayer now, baby. This is my prayer. Answer it right now, baby. Say you love me too. Answer my prayer. This is my prayer, baby. I'm in love with you.
There you go.
Wow. My first concern is I like arranging in original keys. Yeah. I mean, I picked this song and I didn't quite think of that. I didn't think it would win. I just wanted to show like that I liked the songs. I am a classy baluch, me. Yeah, that's gonna be it because I like singing songs in their original key, but I'm not Aretha Franklin, Fred.
Mate, neither am I. And like, well, we'll make it work, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's your
I guess-
initial thoughts?
I like it. My straight away, I'm thinking about what like I'm arranging for. Is it SSAA, SATB?
BBBB, just basses, all basses, everything down 3 octaves. I think that's forever, forever, you stayed in my heart. I think you kind of do the builder version. And I will love you forever, forever. I think that would work. That's where I'm certainly. That's where I'm going with it. I'm going
slightly camp builder.
Roadworkers version. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Men at Work. I think that's already an ensemble in the other half of the world. But yeah, well, because it's like, I mean, my instinct is always to arrange things for TTBB because that's what I can actually sing. But this one's not a TTBB. I don't think. Like, it's the iconic female vocal is what makes this. My thought is whether it's SSA or SATB. I think I'm going to go for SATB because then I can have a bass line. But it might be like a kind of highish.
So possibly a little bit more spread on the parts.
Yeah, well, I would imagine that it'll be I guess almost like a mixed barbershop, I guess. But yeah, we'll see. But I like it. It's fun. There's a lot to work with there. I like the I really like the change of time signatures in the chorus where it's like dum 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 dum, and it goes from 4/4 to the bar of 3 and then back to 4, and then those kind of triplet features. And I think there's a lot of room there to kind of reimagine elements of it while staying true to the original.
Rhythmic pulse is interesting as well because that when the drums come in, it's got that rhythm there, so it's gonna have to be. But that prevailing drum rhythm doesn't go with the bass rhythm.
Yeah, well, you gotta make it work.
Yeah, well, but I don't think it's a song I want to be beatboxing on. I don't think that's gonna work. Doesn't seem like the type of song I should be beatboxing on. It's too classic. It's too classic.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I never do a beatbox track for my arrangements because I don't want to.
There's nothing wrong with that. I do it for some.
Yeah.
Again, being in a quartet that has a beatboxer, well, he has to sing baritone at the same time. But having someone who does that, therefore, it means sometimes I arrange for things like that. But I love that song though.
It's a good song.
The other thing is lengthwise. Problem with a cappella songs, they don't always lend themselves to the full length because there's a lot of repetition in the back end. But the problem is that it's all the iconic bits that Aretha does. It's which of those bits do you cut? Because like the really big, like when she goes forever, forever, and it's like the ridiculously high note. You can't miss that. But again, the nice little kind of say you love me too. This is my prayer, baby. That kind of stuff.
It's always it's always the difficulty when you're trying to arrange something is it's that balance between keeping things and chopping and changing things, right? It's the balance between kind of, I guess, reinventing and reimagining, where one is sort of just taking what exists, putting it back a cappella, and one is putting your own spin on it and changing it.
Yeah.
I think,
so I think I'm going to have to look at structure. I'm going to have to look at if there's, otherwise it might drag a bit. Dependent on what you do with the arrangement, it could require a little bit of chopping. I think I had the same problem with the arrangement of Go Your Own Way, just because it's just lots of choruses, and you're like, could really do with cutting out a chorus. Own way, yeah, and it's like,
I'm still doing that the 10th time.
Yeah.
I like it. The intro is I really like, which I don't want to pretend like I don't like Aretha Franklin. I like Aretha Franklin, but I love the intro to it before she
Yeah.
starts singing. It's such a cool intro.
I'm messing with Aretha.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I'm not saying like, oh, the part I like is the part when there's no Aretha Franklin.
There's no Aretha, yeah, but no, it is. It's a great. It's an iconic beginning to a song, isn't it? It just instantly puts you in that kind of like, oh yeah.
And I'm already hearing a chance for my favorite thing ever, which is a bell chord. Just before the opening, like, yeah, I'm already hearing a nice bell chord. I can get going there, which is nice. I always like those. They always work. Always sound good. Really hard to sing, but always sound good. So
Yeah, well, you're going to be sc- so. Tell the people how are you choosing to arrange a song, Fred? Are you into score?
yeah, I some would say that I am a fan of a score. It's true.
Some would say. Some say he is a fan of a
Some.
score.
All we know is he's called the Fred. That's a very antiquated reference for you there. So I like my my sheet music and my theory. I arrange by putting notes into a software program. I use Musical. Other programs are available. If you have more money than me, Musical is completely free. Which is the reason I use it. So I like to put my sort of things into a notation program because that's I guess the music background that I've had. Ever since I started doing music, it's always just been written music, and that's where I'm comfortable, and that's how I like to think about it.
Yep.
So I'll be probably looking through different versions of the sheet music, listening to a few different versions, and then kind of coming up with what I care about. I've got a piano as well that I like to tinker on with. So it's kind of a mixture of, I guess, arranging by maths, where I'm just working out what notes have to go where to make the chords I want, and also tinkering around on the piano, and a bit of just like singing in the shower to kind of see.
Well, you're gonna have lots of washes over the next few days, mate. You'll be clean by the end of the weekend.
I'll be shiny.
Whereas I probably will be I'll be a sweaty mess because I'm going to do my usual way of arranging, which is sit here and attempt to sing Aretha, which I think is going to be a challenge. But yeah, so I'll do my usual. I'm gonna sing and harmonize with myself and listen like Billy Joel, listen to multi-track versions of myself for a couple of days and see what comes out of the other end of it.
Yeah, well, it is. I think it's interesting. I think we'll probably touch on this more in the second and third sessions as well. But the way that, like, obviously different process, because anyone that does arranging, it's very, I guess, sort of not personal in the sense of it being private, but personal in the sense of it's like a thing that you kind of. There's no like, you sit down and learn arranging.
There's no one way.
And I think there's loads of people do it very different ways. Obviously, there's. I guess we're kind of slightly different ends of the spectrum, although there's people that I think are probably even more extreme than we are.
Yeah, you'd probably say so. Again, interesting. Some groups arrange within a group, so like the bass singer in a said group would therefore come up with the bass line for a song, and then the lead would sing lead, and then other people would harmonize, and it would be that kind of like organic group thing.
Well, that's the original barbershop, right? Someone singing a melody, and then everyone harmonizes around.
Everyone harmonizes, and then it gets codified.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Got to codify everything nowadays, Fred. Got to codify.
Codify our arranging styles.
Yes, I'm not quite sure I could codify my arranging style, but it is personal, isn't it? Because I don't know anyone.
Vibes.
I don't know. I've not met anyone in barbershop who does exactly what I do. Obviously, that's not surprising, but most people are like, "What? Why do you not use scores?" It's like, do you look at the chord sequence? I'm like, no. I have no idea what key it's in. I have no idea what the chords are. I just sing things until it doesn't sound bad, or until I can't make it sound any better.
And it makes sense because obviously for me, if I really wanted to and I really tried, I could probably do something by just sitting down and singing. But I know it wouldn't be as good because for me that it's taking away the thing that I used to arrange and is helpful for me. Yeah. Whereas for you, if I made you think about the key and the chord sequence, that would then add an obstacle rather than take one away.
Yeah.
It's about the way that you think about the music, I guess. I'm very comfortable, I guess, analyzing it, funnily enough, almost mathematically, and like thinking about what the chords are doing, what the harmony is, and sort of whereas obviously I guess more organic would be the way to describe it. Whereas,
it's just feel. It's just like I listen to it and it's like, well, initially it's melody and bass. So melody and bass, and then everything else just works around to basically present the melody, and the bass therefore gives across the ideas of whatever's going kind of on, whether it be rhythmic or harmonic, and then everything else just serves to to present that melody in whatever way it needs presenting in. So yeah, so it is quite organic, and it's not surprisingly, I don't really plan. So I'll just like start singing and then go, okay, and then I'll make something go, that's not very good. And then I'll do it again and go, oh, yeah, okay, I'll do that kind of thing.
I generally like to have a vague idea of what my texture is going to be for a section before I arrange it. So I don't have to sit down and plan the whole arrangement, although I like to have a vague idea. But I'll like to know, okay, this part I want to have a melody and one part above it in harmony, a bass line, and then vowels. Or something, for example, I'll try and work out the vague texture that I want for a section. And sometimes that changes when I have ideas. And I do sometimes, I'll just like sing a harmony in my head and I'm like, I like that.
Yeah.
And then that's why I have my piano to work out what I've sung. But yeah, I think what I've always noticed with your arrangements as well, and I've said this to you before, is that the non-word sounds that you use are always really effective. When you're using like instrumental sounds or like vowels and that sort of thing, those are always really, really effective. Whereas obviously, because when I want to have that effect, I'm like a da, dum, dee, ja, and I'm trying to work out like writing down like a sound.
Yeah.
And it always sounds more manufactured than obviously you're just singing the sound that sounds the best at the time, which funny enough is the one that sounds the best. And that's always something that I think is a massive virtue of the way that you arrange, is the non-word sounds and the instrumental sounds and accompanying parts in particular.
Yeah.
Those kind of sounds.
Yeah. I think one of the issues with how I choose to do things is sometimes there's not as many of those interesting chords. So like interesting, and not manufacture in a bad way, but when you can manufacture a really nice kind of phrase ending or a cadence point where you can kind of go, ooh, I'm gonna do this thing, and therefore what part needs to be on what note so that it can do the nice thing. Whereas because there's an element of working vertically in the chord, as opposed to what I do, it's just pretty much horizontal. And I will find myself backed into a corner, because if I want to get a different harmonic thing, I'd have to re-record sometimes a significant part of something else I've already done. And especially if I get into what is the last part, fourth or fifth part or whatever, or sometimes ninth or 10th part of harmony, depending on what the song is and what it needs. Sometimes I get backed into a corner. I'm like, kind of want to do that, but I kind of can't, because I then have to literally go back and re-record 6 of the 9 parts I've already done. And at that point, I'm like, let's not do that, and then carry on. So
I guess it's like writing an essay by hand versus on the computer, right? Like when you're writing it by hand, you gotta cross it all out and restart it. Whereas obviously for me, it's like if I want to change something, I can just use my keys, delete.
Yeah, and then just then manufacture, add a bar, change this, change that. And it's not.
Yeah. I guess the thing to mention is, oh hello, I've got a cup of tea coming. Thank you very much, Dad.
Oh yes, then.
I know this is good, isn't it?
I'm jealous. I've still got just my bottle of water.
Thanks, Dad. There you go. This Fred is
very busy.
And I'll show you what the other side says as well. It's what I got bought for Christmas. It says making musical noises, adding up big numbers, and sleeping.
They're all things you've been doing.
Those
tick, tick, tick.
Those are my 3 favorite things to do.
Your favorite things? Yeah, I don't
think
disagree with you.
Pretty fair assumption.
I don't sleep enough. I wish I could sleep more, but we can sleep. We can sleep when we're dead, Fred. When we're dead, which is hopefully isn't now. I need to get the arrangement done. So we're coming up to our 45-minute time limit, which I've been keeping on because we were told we have to keep in time, and me and you could chat all day. But so good luck, Fred. Not that it's a competition, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. And
I'm really surprised that was the one that won, but I'm kind of excited. Because I didn't have it, I hadn't listened to it. Like, it wasn't on my radar as one that might win, so I'm quite excited to actually get into it.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be fun. So for all of you watching, the next thing you'll see is kind of like possibly like an edited together, like maybe some clips of me and Fred screaming at a screen, going, it doesn't work.
Just a 1 minute montage of us just shouting.
And then we'll hook up in a day or so, me and Fred, and kind of chat about how it's going. Maybe play a few little bits, say what issues we're having, because I think it'll be the issues we probably want to talk about at that point. And so we'll see you in a session soon.
Yeah, it might be worth saying we're currently recording this on Wednesday lunchtime.
Yes, it is currently Wednesday. It's about 10 to 2 on Wednesday. So probably the next time we'll chat maybe is Friday daytime if Fred is kind of free and around just before actual college officially starts. You'll be watching this on Friday, we imagine, Friday evening. So by this point, we'll have already filmed the second part, and it'll either be going well or it will be something that we're wishing that we'd not agreed to do in a educational event for 400 people on the internet.
What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
This is the end of our careers.
Yeah. I've only just started, man. Back to classroom teaching for me. But yeah, so good luck, Fred. Thank you very much.
You
And
too, sir.
to all of you watching, very nice to see you. And we shall see you in a couple of days. Well, you'll see us tomorrow, but for us, it'll be a couple of days. It'll be like Blue Peter. It'll be like, here's one we arranged earlier. So yeah, good luck and see you soon, mate.
See you soon, guys. Bye bye.
See you later. Bye.